But when you now come and you don't play by the rules, you either do things based on tribe, based on ethnic sentiments and all of that, you are abusing your office. So the moment you cross that Rubicon, you cross that bridge of perhaps doing things out of ignorance to now continuing in that act, it is no longer an issue of poor judgment. At that point, you have stepped into the realm of abusing your office.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to another exciting edition of your program, Transparency Files. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiaye. Corruption remains one of Nigeria's most persistent challenges, and at the very heart of it lies abuse of office, a quiet but powerful force that fuels many of the country's governance failures. While corruption often brings to mind stolen billions and dramatic scandals, abuse of office is usually more subtle, more frequent, and far more damaging in the long run. Today on the program, we shall be examining all about abuse of office, what constitutes the offense, and the position of the law on the matter. Let us join Joy Aja as she brings us an update on activities around the Commission.
Hello viewers, thank you for staying with us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. Icpc has secured the conviction of Muhammad Said Musa, a former official of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, for making false statements through the use of forged academic and service certificates. The conviction was handed down by Honorable Justice B. Mandi Bassi of the Federal Capital Territory High Court 55, sitting in Asokoro, Abuja, following a one-count amended charge pursuant to a plea bargain agreement entered into by the defendant. The court found that Musa fraudulently obtained and presented a forged Bachelor of Science degree certificate in political science, purportedly issued by the University of Maiduguri, as well as a forged National Youth Service Corps certificate of national service, which he used to secure employment with the NIPC. The offense came to light after the Icpc received a request from the Executive Secretary of the NIPC for a staff verification audit. During the verification exercise, the Commission discovered that the certificates submitted by the defendant were not genuine. Further independent verification confirmed that both certificates were forged. As part of the plea bargain agreement, the defendant refunded the sum of 36,590,943 naira 21 kobo, being proceeds earned from the false representation, into the Icpc recovery account. In her judgment, Honorable Justice Bassi upheld the plea bargain agreement and sentenced the defendant to a non-custodial sentence, ordering him to be of good conduct and to pay a fine of 50,000 naira. In another development, Icpc has convened its pivotal 2026 Management and Board retreat in Niger State. The two-day forum, which focused on reinforcing institutional efficacy and strengthening public confidence in the nation's anti-corruption fight, was formally opened by the Icpc chairman, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, SAN, held at the Royal Institute for Training and Human Capital Development Limited, Zuma Rock Resort. The retreat was themed Enhancing Institutional Effectiveness, Leadership, Performance, and Public Trust. In his opening address, Dr. Aliyu framed the retreat as a critical juncture for reflection, recalibration, and a renewed commitment to the Commission's public mandates.
Now, the tone of this retreat is one of the rigorous introspection and proactive transformation, which has the title of Enhancing Institutional Effectiveness. Is a recognition that in the fight against corruption, doing our best is no longer enough. The public does not judge us by our efforts, but they judge us by our results. Effectiveness means that our investigations lead to convictions, our prevention strategies close systematic loopholes, and our public education initiatives actually change behavior.
The keynote presentation was delivered by Dr. Roger Koranteng on positioning African anti-corruption agencies for global effectiveness, the way forward for ICPC. He underscored that corruption cannot be defeated in isolation, but under sustained, courageous, and collective action.
ICPC must be shielded from undue influences. Its autonomy must be guaranteed by law. Without independent effectiveness is impossible. Capacity. We must invest in training, technology, and modern investigative tools. Digital transformation, AI, blockchain, big data can expose corruption in ways traditional method cannot. Collaboration. ICPC must partner with global institutions, the UN, the Transparency International, the African Union, to share intelligence and strengthen cross-border enforcement. Corruption is transnational. Our response must be transnational too.
In a session titled Institutional Integrity in Anti-Corruption Agencies, Lessons from the Bench, Honorable Justice Chidebere N. Uwa emphasized that integrity is built daily upon an unwavering foundation of fairness, accountability, and transparency, secured through strict adherence to due process.
Institutional integrity transcends the sum of the personal honesty of its officers. It is the embedded culture, processes, and unwavering commitment to legality, fairness, accountability, and transparency that guide every action of an agency. It is what makes an institution trustworthy, in quotes, in the eyes of the public and credible before the court.
A further presentation was given by Dr. Umar Yakubu, Director of the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Trust. The 2026 retreat concluded with a resolve to translate dialogue into decisive action, aiming to fortify the ICPC's internal mechanisms and significantly deepen its impact within Nigeria's anti-corruption landscape. That'll be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome to Studio Airlines.
Oh, thank you. Please, we need ticket to Abuja. Yes.
Oh, so sorry, sir. The seats are fully booked.
Hello, ladies.
Good day, ma'am.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Please, I need a ticket to Abuja.
Oh, sure.
40,000, man. Here.
Excuse me. Abuja.
Yes.
But you people told us that tickets are finished. Finished, Abi?
When you asked for tickets, there was no ticket.
Exactly.
So this is what you people do. You hoard tickets and use them for your private business. This is the same reason why, when we get into the flight, half of the seats are empty.
Oga, you can call Minister of Aviation.
Excuse me? So this is what you do? You hoard tickets for your PP? This is corruption and
Not in my country.
Stop corruption now. Corruption not in my country.
This is Transparency Files. Abuse of office occurs when a public official uses the authority entrusted to them for personal gain, favoritism, or political advantage rather than for the public good. It includes actions such as awarding contracts to friends and family, diverting public funds, manipulating recruitment processes, suppressing due process, or using state resources for private or partisan purposes. In Nigeria, abuse of office is not limited to top government officials. It cuts across ministries, agencies, parastatals, local governments, and even public institutions like schools and hospitals. This widespread nature makes it a fundamental pillar of corruption. According to Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, anyone who uses his office or position to gratify or confer undue advantage upon themselves, relation, or associate have committed an offense and, if convicted, shall be liable to 5 years imprisonment without an option of fine. To discuss further in our studios, we have Mr. Golden Iwagu, He is an assistant director in the Legal Services Department. Let's take a listen.
Abuse of office, simply put, is when you use your office for purposes other than that for which that office is created, or other than that for which you are appointed. And so let's take, for instance, you are appointed the chairman of an agency, and part of your duties, fairness, perhaps in recruitment of staff and all of that, posting, transfer, training. But when you now come and you don't play by the rules, you either do things based on tribe, based on ethnic sentiments and all of that, you are abusing your office. When you say in recruitment, you only get your people in, that is abuse of office. And in our public space, the commonest form you find, like I have in explaining what abuse of office is, you find it in recruitment. You find it in favors when there are opportunities in government agencies and all of that. Well, the point is that you don't appoint people except they are qualified. So the issue of poor judgment naturally will not arise. I would see that when people claim that, they didn't know, it's either they are saying that because they want to cover their tracks or a defense. But let us imagine that you don't know. There are people, career civil servants and all of that you are supposed to, get information from. So the moment you cross that Rubicon, you cross that bridge of perhaps doing things out of ignorance to now continuing in that art, it is no longer an issue of poor judgment. At that point, you have stepped into the realm of abusing your office. Well, for us, the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act in Section 19, criminalizes abuse of office. And unfortunately, it's one of the sections, I think the only section in our act or in that act where if you abuse your office, if you are prosecuted and eventually convicted, you'll be sentenced. There's no option of fine. That's the point I'm trying to make. So our Section 19 criminalizes abuse of office, and if you are found guilty of that section, you'll be sentenced to imprisonment. It's purely custodial sentence. There is no option of fine. Well, I would want to say that for us to grow this country, when you are appointed into an office, look at the rules, play by the rules. It's not about your ethnicity, it's not about your religion, it's not about where you come from. It's not an opportunity, it is our turn. So once you are appointed into an office, one of the guiding principles is that if you err, there are consequences. And when you are going to suffer that consequence, it is not the people who you favored that will suffer with you. You just go alone. So anybody who finds himself in any public space, please play by the rule.
To give us updates on happenings in our state offices, Phoenix Apolaha is standing by.
From Delta State comes a report that the Icpc has inaugurated Student Anti-Corruption Club and sensitized the students and teachers of Adiagbo Mixed Secondary School, Ogwachukwu. Sunday Eko Keme and Stella Chibuzo educated them on the Commission's activities and urged them to uphold the values of honesty and integrity in their everyday lives. Similarly, Icpc Rivers State Office has inaugurated Student Anti-Corruption Club and sensitized the students of Community Secondary School, Pabod in Port Harcourt. Mr. Obinna Osim of Public Education Department explained to the students the various forms of corruption that are capable of destroying their future, hence encouraged them to shun corruption and embrace discipline. And from Oyo State Office, Icpc has reconstituted the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit of the Federal College of Education, Osiele Abeokuta. The resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Barrister Chile Ogwebu, represented by Mr. Oscar Ndukwe, emphasized the need for members to adhere strictly to international best practices and standards in carrying out their mandate, and stressed that the unit should be used to support institutional accountability.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Thank you for staying tuned to Transparency Files. We now move to our youth segment. Young people are often told that corruption is a government problem, something far removed from their daily lives. But the truth is this: corruption begins with small compromises, and abuse of office is one of its earliest forms. Whenever power, big or small, is used for selfish gain instead of service, abuse of office is at work. From student leaders misusing funds, to youth representatives favoring friends, to public officials diverting resources, the same mindset runs through it all. Nigeria's future rests heavily on today's youth, and understanding abuse of office is not just about criticizing leaders, it is about shaping the kind of leaders we choose to become. We asked some youth this question: have you ever seen someone misuse power, even in school or any youth group? How did it make you feel? Let's hear from them.
Well, I've seen in a couple scenarios, but I would give one. I actually worked in a TechNet firm for about 2 months. Well, while our COO was there, he actually appointed more of his friends, not more of the people that were actually qualified. So I felt like he leveraged his position to do what he pleased, not what the company would have needed at that point in time. So yeah, that was the first time I actually experienced abuse of power. It actually made me feel very underqualified, meanwhile knowing that I had the skills to actually do what was needed to grow the company at that point in time. But at the same time, I also felt like it wasn't my fault, and well, he was entitled to the position, so he used the power the way he liked.
talking about misusing of power is almost everywhere in Nigeria now. So I could remember a scenario my friend told me about when she was in school, university. She was not really doing better in her grades and that. So she went to a lecturer, which was like, she took as a father or as an uncle to her, explaining everything. And I remember what the man told her was, if she have to use what she has to get what she wants. So which made her feel bad because she looked at him as an uncle, as a father, someone she could walk up to when she's in need of help or anything. So that really made her feel bad, and it made me feel bad. So there's different scenarios. So that's one. Bank stuff, going to bank, you want to go and deposit money and all of that. Then there's somebody that wants to deposit more money than you. You just see them, they will start, please, ma. So there are different scenarios like that.
So yes, I've seen someone misuse power before in my school. It was the SH president at then, and it happened that we the students were to pay a certain amount of money for something, just a due that has to be paid every year, and the SG president's friends clique did not pay the money. They did not just pay the money. Why? Because their friend is the SG president. It made me feel really bad. It made other people too feel really bad, but we had nothing to do, and our hands were tied as at then. But yeah, I've seen power being misused before. Did I feel good about it? No, not at all.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
This is Transparency Files. Abuse of office is not a minor misconduct. It is the engine room of corruption in Nigeria. Until power is exercised as a trust and not a privilege, corruption will continue to reinvent itself. Combating it requires courage, consistency, and collective resolve. When public office truly becomes public service, Nigeria's path to integrity and development will no longer be a distant dream, but a lived reality. To know more about ICPC and the work we are doing, please visit our website www.icpc.gov.ng and follow us on social media with the handle @ICPC Nigeria. See you again next week. Thank you for watching this edition. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiai.